All right, folks, hey, I'm committed to making a video outside today, and I'm having trouble. There's this bird making all kinds of noise. Neighbors across the street are playing basketball, and I got some kids in the backyard next to me, but hey, it's like 72 degrees here in Indiana, but we're gonna do this outside. So, hey, a viewer named of Marty asked me to describe the days going up to my decision to retire. What was that like? Get into the details, wallow around in that, because quite a few folks are struggling with one more year. Working, why not one more year? And folks, as you've heard on my videos, is it's always going to make financial sense to work one more year, 100% all the time. But what was my experience? Okay, folks, when I was 52, actually all my math worked out to retire. I was making good income. I was at the top of my career, but I was looking to do something new, start a new journey. What was I retiring to? Always wanted to run my own business, okay? And for several years of my time with a company called Alcoa, I was an internal consultant on reliability and maintenance best practices, and I did this globally. Got pretty good at it, learned a lot. I applied some lean concepts to reliability and maintenance best practices to come up with some pretty dramatic results, okay? And I enjoyed doing that, enjoyed spending my time on that, so that's what I wanted to retire to. So I'm 52 years old at this time, and then a couple buddies of mine, who shall remain nameless, they twisted my arm, shamed me, asked me 4 times to take an assignment running a large facility, and we're talking about their challenges were uniquely aligned with some of my strengths. And they asked me 4 times, I turned them down 3. So I signed up for another couple years. No regrets at all. It was one of the greatest experiences of my life. No regrets. Okay. But, I was just one bad day away from just saying, this is not what I want to do. So the business group that I was in, we were having some challenges. But the plant I was at, there were some fabulous things going on. I facilitated, but I give full credit to the teams. They just needed a little hope, a little inspiration, and some plans, okay? We increased on my second year that I was there, increased productivity 29%, cut $9 million out of R&M, out of cost, but yet the assets were in fabulous shape. We started up a new production center. We were doing some things with training and development, leadership development, putting in systems, okay? Systems that put hope and enthusiasm in the organization. So things were going great, okay? Then January 2019 came, and the leadership team, not my staff, up a couple levels, they had 3 changes that they wanted to implement. I don't know where these ideas came from. Didn't even know meetings and discussions were happening. But they asked me to do 3 things. 1, they wanted me to cut cost by $2 million in the first quarter. Keep in mind, it was early January, so there's like 2.5 months left. And this is on top of our plant having $11 million of cost reductions already in the plan, stepping on top of the $9 million we previously reduced in the year before. But this was going to have to come in the under the heading of like cutting maintenance costs, cutting out outages, cutting out overtime, really just slashing things in the short term, which those short-term improvements of $2 million would not allow the 11 to happen. Didn't care. Cut the cost. Totally crazy. Against everything that I've been selling, preaching, and the hope that I've been giving the organization. Number 2 was a hiring freeze. We had 40 open positions, 40. And well, technically, some of those positions weren't open at the time, but I had committed and gotten great respect for if somebody was going to be leaving 6 months, 8 months, 9 months from now, I got approval to hire them in advance so we can transfer knowledge so that we wouldn't have mistakes and lessons learned from not doing certain work because somebody's mind went left. Somebody's intellectual property walked out. So why wouldn't we have an overlap? So that was in the plan, still with the 11 million reduction. And, some of these were engineering positions, which were in place to save 4 to 10 times their salary. And it gave credibility and hope to the organization, like I said, and that was frozen. So can't hire anybody. And then number 3 was the bonus for the previous year. So that's 2019. The bonus that was to be paid out for 2018 did not like the size of that bonus. Did not like it. And it didn't match the business conditions, whatever. They were looking at recalculating it to have a lower payout. I don't know what to think of that. I was pretty upset. I sat down with my direct supervisor and argued my point. And about 45 minutes in, I took a breath. And this supervisor of mine looked at me and said, "Joe, why are you still here? You already have the money to retire. You've got 30 years with the company," and there was some bonuses that came along with retiring after 30 years. "Why are you still here?" This is my bad day. This is my bad day. So, hey, we all have these. I was in position to do something about it. Last thing, kind of post-mortem, we all think we're valuable to the business we're in. And if you own the business, you are. And no doubt I was an asset to my organization. But when I was walking out the door and they hired a new person to replace me, quite a bit junior to me, but good experience and needed some development. But I liked the guy and I wished him well. And I spent, about a week going through the initiatives that I had underway. A lot of people development issues, very specific, a lot of programs, had just some best practices in R&M. We had some lean things going on, like I said, some leadership development, a lot of training, a lot of people moves I was contemplating, and shared that with this individual. And I said, "Hey, I'm only living 10 minutes away. Here's my phone call. Here's my phone number, sorry. Here's my email address. Anytime you want to get together for lunch, anytime you want to call me 24/7 to find out what I was doing, what I was thinking, what would I do in this situation, I'm here for you behind the scenes to make you look good. Please call me." Okay. How many phone calls have I received in the last 4 years? 0. 0 emails, 0 contact. Okay, folks? I'll be honest, early on, I'm way past this now, but early on, it was kind of a ego check. Like, good gosh, I thought I was doing very well, and they didn't want my input. I captured a quote from that. You may have heard this before, but the cemetery is full of irreplaceable people. Check your ego. Whenever it makes financial sense for you, double check that plan with somebody. Don't go it alone, as I've said in countless other videos. It's too important of a decision. Get somebody else involved in that. And the game then go. This is Joe out.